Talking about superheroes, we think of a guy in a tight red suit with super strength, super healing powers, super reflexes, a quirky personality, humorous and sarcastic with a creative and highly whimsical fighting style. Are we talking about Spider-Man? No, let's skip that troubled character. Let's move on to a mentally unstable anti-hero also in a tight red suit with super strength, super healing powers, super reflexes, but without the web slinging. Oh, actually, a lover with an unusual taste, a rival of Thanos, who has killed the entire Marvel universe multiple times, none other than Deadpool. So, let's dive into this talkative assassin and what he's capable of doing right now. A super quick resume for those not yet familiar with the character. Deadpool, real name Wade Wilson, is a mercenary assassin from Canada, where apparently any foreigner can become Superman.
Just once, I'm gonna find a planet of people that are worse than me at everything. A whole bunch of functional idiots. I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna be their Superman.
Isn't that Canada? You shut your goddamn trash mouth.
From a pure villain to an anti-hero in Marvel's magical universe, created spontaneously by Rob Liefeld and Fabian Nicieza, first appeared in The New Mutants, #98, in February 1991. Since he was a product of whimsy, everything about him is also whimsical, with his look and powers literally copied from DC Comics' Deathstroke. But funnier? That's right. One day, the two creators wanted to design a super cool assassin character with a tight suit to show off bulging muscles, master of hand-to-hand combat, super strong, super fast, can do everything. But the neighbors already ran off with that idea long ago. So Rob and Nicieza had to find him a special trait to stand out from the crowd, and that was being talkative.
You made me ask twice.
Is the mask muffling my voice?
If Deathstroke is a taciturn patriarch always saying, "No, silence," then Deadpool is a guy who just can't keep quiet. Indeed, they created the most talkative man on Earth. Thus, we got Deadpool, the mentally unstable anti-hero in a tight red suit with two swords on his back, who can do almost everything, including talking to the readers.
You know I can hear you.
Wasn't talking to you. I was talking to them.
But can't stay quiet for a few seconds. Sounds cool, right? But the cooler part is coming up next. This is probably why you clicked on this video, right? We're going to talk about Deadpool's powers. Normally, what abilities do you expect from a superhero or anti-hero? Super strength, super reflexes, super speed, impressive hand-to-hand combat skills? Deadpool has them all. Nothing's missing, because he was trained in the US military environment, following the classic trope where almost all skilled assassins in American movies and comics have a military background, like a whopping 90% of them. And a veteran always outperforms a bunch of regular soldiers, and Wade Wilson is one such guy. Wade is proficient in all kinds of weapons, though everyone knows his strongest weapon is his mouth.
How are the kids? Good? And Gail, she's still fixing that tuna casserole?
So good.
Oh, but bad for the waistline if you know what I'm talking about.
His insane mind also plays a significant role in his fighting style, making encounters with Deadpool much more unpredictable, because you never know what he's going to do next. Especially, he's the nemesis of psychics, because he can resist mind reading and control, though I think it's more of a weakness, because anyone trying to read this madman's mind would probably pass out. It sounds awesome, but these are pretty standard. What really makes Deadpool unique is his healing ability. Most young people today choose healing by traveling, listening to podcasts, reading books to de-stress, etc. But as a mercenary, Deadpool doesn't have the luxury of relaxation, nor does he need it, because he has a healing factor constantly at work within him, different from Wolverine, Hidan, and Naruto, that fed Aatrox in top lane, or any other seemingly immortal character. Deadpool's healing mechanism is unique because it's tightly linked to his cancer. To delve deeper, we need to go back to the origin of Wade's powers. Though he's closely associated with the X-Men and often mistaken for a mutant,
Everyone calm down. The pros are here. We're the X-Men.
Deadpool's powers are not innate, but are the result of a laboratory experiment, more similar to Captain America. Wade Wilson was diagnosed with cancer at a young age and was invited to participate in an experimental serum project. Without hesitation, he gambled everything on the project, thinking he'd die from cancer anyway if it didn't work. And fate doesn't let down its people, except for a few cases. The result is that the disease was incurable, but Wade couldn't die either. Along with that came a face nearly completely destroyed. Poor guy was born in an era where makeup and phone filters weren't as advanced as today, so he's quite self-conscious about his face. Back to the main topic, Deadpool's healing serum significantly enhances his body's cell division. I mean, all types of cells, no exceptions. Meaning cancer cells are also part of Wade's body, and they proliferate as fast as healthy cells. Thus, the two types of cells neutralize each other, allowing Deadpool's body not to overload and to be nearly immortal. There was an incident where the Skrulls tried to copy Deadpool's abilities, but failed, leading to their bodies becoming deformed and self-destructing. The reason is that the healthy cells of the Skrull expanded and multiplied too quickly without cancer cells to keep them in check. So, Deadpool's healing ability is truly unique, and only he can use it. Deadpool's power can be summed up as a combination of two superpowers. One is super regeneration, and the other is super cancer, meaning he'll live longer than the average person, but can still age and die. Suppose Deadpool's head is severed. If the head is destroyed, a new one will grow from the body. If the body is destroyed, it will regenerate from the head. If both parts remain intact, Deadpool can reattach them. Worse, if all parts are turned to dust or torn into pieces, Deadpool will die. Given that he's a comedic character, his power levels are also insanely high, even to the point where Deadpool can duplicate himself, because there were instances when separate body parts reattach themselves, forming a new individual entity called Evilpool. So if you're thinking, with powers like these, can Deadpool do this or that? The answer is always yes. No matter how crazy your thoughts are, they can't match the madness of the creators. So is Deadpool immortal? It sounds omnipotent, but to say Deadpool is immortal is only partially correct. There was a time when Thanos, the biggest potato in the universe, cursed Deadpool with immortality, out of jealousy over Deadpool's romantic relationship with death. As mentioned, Deadpool has a peculiar taste in lovers, having once dated the embodiment of death itself, who was also Thanos' crush at the time. So, the Director General of the Population and Family Planning Commission, Thanos, cursed Deadpool so he could never die, preventing him from ever being with his loved one. At that time, Deadpool could truly be considered immortal. But like Skip's in regular show, his immortality wasn't a superpower, but a curse. According to the storyline, this curse has been lifted long ago, so at the current time, he can still be killed. How do you kill Deadpool? Even though he's an immortal madman, both in films and comics, this clownish assassin has come close to death numerous times. I'll list a few methods here. Number 1, power-dampening collar. Even in his own movie, we saw Deadpool struggling with this device in prison. This collar temporarily locks away the superpowers of mutants, even though this guy isn't even a mutant. Wearing the collar, Wade's healing factor is disabled, and even without losing his hand-to-hand combat skills, anyone could defeat Deadpool then, as the end-stage cancer makes his body extremely weak.
With this collar on, my superpower is just unbridled cancer. Give me a bow and arrow, I'm basically Hawkeye.
This collar is like a death sentence for Deadpool, because the assassin would just die from cancer without needing to do anything. Number 2, anti-healing weapons. In the story Deadpool Kills Deadpool, you can see that versions of Deadpool, despite having a healing factor, can still die easily because of weapons containing anti-healing elements. And Wade himself has referred to anti-healing weapons as anti-Deadpool weapons. Number 3, attacks that exceed the healing threshold. Deadpool is strong, but he's still human. A lab product, so his abilities have limits. Even Logan, the original and better version of the healing ability, has limits. So Deadpool does too. And his limits are even lower than Wolverine's. Just need a destructive force large enough, strong enough to exceed his healing threshold, and he'll be done. This explains why, despite super regeneration and healing, Deadpool still tends to dodge and use weapons to block attacks rather than taking them head on. Partly because it hurts, partly because his strength has limits, and finally, because it looks cool. Number 4. Cure Deadpool's cancer. It sounds really stupid, but as mentioned above, cancer is also a part of Deadpool's powers. So if the cancer is cured and the super healing serum is still in his body, the result would be like this. Number 5. Dying of old age. Deadpool is not immortal, although the serum gives him a longer lifespan than average people. He can still age and die of old age like anyone else. As they say, time kills all. In the comics, there are still many ways to kill this seemingly immortal anti-hero. However, those mentioned above are just the easiest to understand. And anyway, you wouldn't want this talkative guy to die, right? He's got a long road ahead on the big screen. And soon, he'll return in a new movie with his best friend both on screen and off Wolverine. So, this will be the background knowledge for you to watch the movie without having giant question marks floating above your head. I'm Lander, wishing you a happy day.